Who knows, right, at this point. Log 22 experimental outcome analysis substances 3 minds, 1 ad corpus, 2 ex corpus. Wait, experimental outcome 3 minds, 1 inside the body, 2 outside the body. Method: swapper device engaged on all 3 minds simultaneously. Result: me. When the device was engaged by the trespasser, her own mind was combined with the Chalmers and Dennett minds to create me. I cannot tell if I'm all of them or none of them, for I do not remember what it's like to be anyone other than I. So the scavenger merged all 3 minds into the one body, but all 3 of them forgot who they were, and now they're just who they are now, which is 3 of them in the same brain. In the same body, that is. Good times, am I right? So let me just... Can I?
First you swap us into brain specimens for a century, then you talk this girl into using the device. Now look at us. We're 3 different people locked into one body by your damn swapper. Does crazy even apply here? My mind was my own when I came here. You two can think what you like. I am going to land the station. You're going to kill us all? Good. We should have done it my way. Incredible. After all these years, you still cling to these dogmatic intuitions about the soul. The device doesn't work like that. You wanted to swap with the Headwatcher and take control. It would have destroyed you. I don't believe you can adequately explain how you know that, so I defer to the simplest explanation. Not a soul necessarily, but something which remains, even if the physical facts change. After all, we've been through countless bodies, but I still feel myself. If I'm right, then how would you ever know? I want to know. Please, let's keep things civil now. You've taken everything. You've given me no choice. Please don't. There's only one way to be sure.
Alright, they're gonna go use the swapper on the head. Good job. Alright, the body's gone. Dead. DED dead. And now... Wait, oh, I can't get in there? No, open the... Oh, I still can't get in there. Alright. Well, the body's not moving anymore. I think their brains are inside the big head. Command! This is a great story. It was always he... It always... Wait, what? It always were he picking using fresh free. That's not actually a sentence, Rock, but try harder. Try harder, Rock. This is dyslexic. hurt. This is edgelord. I just want to give every single rock a name. Something is wrong with who I am. I can't see that dimension. This is tripping out. There's no point apologizing. It's too late for you now. This rock is one direction. You are sick. You will die. This rock is dark. Unless this rock is laconic. I just want to give every rock a name. 124, I have those.
Incoming transmission detected. Broadcast location, unknown vessel.
This is Rescue Java 509 Alpha responding to SOS request. You read, over. To anyone on board, we're seeing some troubling readings here. Whatever you're exposed to, you're going to have to get off that station before we arrive, or we're going to be bringing home bodies, over. We'll be with you in approximately 13 hours, Theseus. That's 13 hours. Out.
We have 13 hours to figure out the rest of the game. Log 23 Theseus mission parameters. The natural resources placed within our reach are all but exhausted. Research Station Theseus is one of 7 remote outposts established at great expense in a time of great need. Its remit is the long-term identification and synthesis of useful alien materials. We ask our crews to survive on the frontier beyond the comfort of your families at home, beyond any hope of relief or rescue, for decades at a time, and we ask you to take the labor of that toil and turn it over to us, for the good of the many and for the good of the families who will not forget you. You will be stationed 7 years' travel from the nearest outpost. You will be expected to function largely self-sufficiently and in the absence of reliable communications, to maintain professionalism in isolation for extended periods of time. An endeavor of this scale has never been attempted before, and you will find extensive documentation stored securely on the root directory. Wait, what? You store your documents on the root directory? That's bad computer security practice. Research Station Theseus is under the Project Cepheus operational umbrella. You store your documentation in the root directory? You're not supposed to store anything in the root directory. Anyway, so are we missing any logs? I don't think we are. Watcher 31. Wait, what happened to 32 to 37? And then logs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we've got all the logs so far. We don't have all the watches though. But there is question marks. A time of great need. Long-term identification and synthesis of useful alien materials. So are they resource starved back on the homeworld? Alright, we're going up there. So who am I? Am I the giant stone head? Authenticate landing sequence. Well, we're landing the station.
Theseus landing sequence activated.
Cool story. Was there an option? Hold on. Was there a choice that I should have made? Did we have the choice to... Oh, wait a minute. We could have left. We didn't have to...
Landing compromised. Landing compromised.
Can I leave? Can I still leave? Well, we landed. We quote-unquote landed on the planet. I think we could have left. I think if we ejected ourselves from the... Oh, wait, where am I? Where am I? Map unavailable. The lost ones! They have rejoined the Great Chain, but somehow they are changed. Alright, well, we're back. We're on the planet. Do we have a choice? I'm not sure. Button, 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 button. Alright, let me just... Actually, before I do that... Okay, there's 4 buttons. 1, 2... This is not right, is it? I need to be on the last button. Hold on, let me just stand here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the planet. Somehow we survived the landing. And there's rocks everywhere. Hi, rocks. Life is worth living at any cost. I still feel myself. A mind is not only a brain. Wait, is this one of the people? Chalmers or whatever the other name was? No one can make me do that. There is another way. It's the only way to be sure. The choice is the same as before. You can die here, or you can do what you have to do to go on. All the people have put themselves into the stones. Alright, well. Am I supposed to...
This is Rescue Charter 509 Alpha responding to SOS request.
Oh, hi.
Stand by for risk analysis.
Ground ship. Subject checks out okay, but readings are off the scale. Recommend full quarantine protocols during extraction. Over. Don't worry. We're gonna get you home.
Our ship to ground. We don't have that facility on board, and we're not confident we can safely extract without it. Over.
What are your orders? Over.
Take every precaution and return to ship. Out.
I'm sorry.
Left mouse button swap. E stay on the planet. I can choose to stay here. Wait, so they don't have the facilities to quarantine me, or I can screw these guys and take their ship? Screw these guys, take their ship. Get wrecked! Alright, screw these guys. I have no attachment.
I'm seeing... That's confirmed. She's just jumped. Repeat, subject no longer in range. No life signs detected.
Marcus, what happened?
Damn it. That's the third casualty this month. Marcus, debrief.
He doesn't seem himself.
How can you tell?
Would you look at him?
Looks like Marcus to me. Readings are worse than we thought. Computer's pulling us out of here. Take your places, people.
Who was she anyway? Just another opportunist.
Call-out doesn't say. Does it matter anymore?
Get wrecked! Sure. Well, Marcus, I'm Marcus. Marcus is fine. Marcus is feeling just fine. I'm Marcus. I feel fine. I mean, I have no attachment towards Marcus. Captain Jeffers, Marcus, Kate's voice. Alright. Or I could stay on the planet. Should I try and stay? That's a lot of testers. You know what? That's good. So a few people made the game, and then several dozen people and more tested the game. That's what really makes a good game, is a lot of testers. Because you need people to test the game to see if the game is good to play. So this game was like a textbook example of good game design, right? It communicated well. It communicated all the game mechanics to you really well. There was environmental storytelling, and then there was also in-game storytelling. And the story was interesting. I mean, there was like gradual reveals, and like everything you learn kind of reveals more of the story. And the story was kind of philosophical and interesting, like, you know, talks about the nature of the soul and of the consciousness and mind. So it's a good story, and the puzzles were, I mean, we breezed through them fairly well. But you know, I'm a somewhat experienced puzzle game player, so this is the sort of game that I can recommend to non-gamers. And that's not really a judgment on whether a game is good, but I guess it's a judgment on whether a game is what I consider the game to be playable to a lot of people. So for example, if a non-gamer asks me, oh hey, would you recommend a game for me to try out? What's this gaming thing? I can say, like, you can play Portal, you can play Limbo, you can play The Swapper, and these games are not too difficult and not too challenging to play. Whereas the last platformer we played, Ori and the Blind Forest, like I can't in good conscience introduce that to a new player, like to a person who's completely new to video gaming. Not to say that Ori and the Blind Forest is not good, it's a good game, but it's also challenging. So, like if a person has played Portal, has played the Swapper, has played Limbo, and still want more, and specifically is okay with playing something more technically challenging, then I would recommend Ori and the Blind Forest and Guacamelee and some of these other more challenging games. You know what I mean? So like, it's not to say that, like, I mean, these are all good games, and like all the games I'm naming are good games, but some games are just less technically challenging and therefore more accessible to new players, and the Swapper is one of those. So if anybody asks me what game is good to play, like a simple game that is interesting and good to play, the Swapper is going to be one of them. Can we go and see the other ending? Let me just go back to continue. What happens if we decide to stay on the planet? Do we become a... No, I want to choose to be a rock. I want to be a rock. I don't... Well, we don't get to find out. Alright, well, I guess I'll look it up on the internet. Maybe I should do it now. Maybe I should just... hold on, I'll tab out, if you don't mind. The Swapper ending. What ending did you choose and why? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. What happens if you stay on the planet? Some people chose to stay on the planet because it felt wrong to take over someone's mind. I'm just... Screw Marcus, am I right? Oh, okay. Right, so if you choose to stay on the planet, there's nothing for you to do except jump off the cliff and die. Purge the only survivor just in case. I was expecting a bullet in the face. I think it combines minds. I chose to swap. 5 seconds, press E. You're technically under murder if you swap. Alright, so people are saying that if you don't swap, you just jump in the hole and die. And that's the end. Alright, well that's the end of the game. Pretty good game. Pretty good game, I like it. Yeah. I mean, it's not that long. It's like, I think we played it in about 4 or 5 hours. 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I finished it in 4 hours. People are saying a 5-hour playthrough, but I breezed through those puzzles. Except for one. Alright, that's it. Good game, good experience, and although it's kind of short, 4-hour game, maybe you shouldn't pay any more than $5 for it. Just in terms of, you know, gameplay per hour, or like, yeah, gameplay per dollar. Maybe a $5 game, but it's definitely high. It's a high quality 5 hours. Alright, I'm gonna stop rambling. Highly recommended, but only for a low price because it's not very long.